I got off the phone and I'm like, I hung up and I'm like, I just had a 40-year-old adult hit me up, 18 years old, about investing, like where to put their money. And I was like, that was just different because they was asking me about like different stocks and stuff like that to get into. And I told them like, what is their goals? And it was like growth, like steady growth and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, I gave you a list of stocks that you could look at, some ETFs, mainly just consistent growth. And after that, I was just hitting up different people that were like, no, people were hitting up me just like asking me for advice. And I was like, why are you asking me for advice? It was so weird because I was like, because in my mind at the time, I didn't think I was qualified enough to give that information. Then when I started seeing like, okay, what am I doing for people? I was like, all right, I got to step this up a little bit and learn some more and then teach it some more. Because learning is the teaching is the best way to learn.
What's happening, good people? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders, man. We in Atlanta getting it in, and I ran into my guy. How do you say Ashton?
Ashon.
Ashon, I'm tripping, bro. I got it all backwards. Regardless, we was in the same place yesterday, and we really didn't link up. But I've been peeping you online. You killing it. You got some new dope stuff coming out. And I was like, man, we got to have you on the podcast. Can you come through? You was just like assertively like, I'll be there. So we got you, man. Sean, let the people know who don't know who you are, what you do.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ashon Bennett. I'm a 18-year-old entrepreneur. I trade options in the stock market, and I also teach other people around my age and just older how to do it and how to get into it and learn the skill set.
Got you. So, question to you, man. You just graduated from college. From high school, right?
Yes, sir.
Got you. Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to high school at Oxon Hill High School in Maryland.
Got you. What you doing in the A?
So I moved down here in July. Now I'm just doing entrepreneurship, doing business, going to these conferences, trying to network as many people as possible and just get connections. And then from there, just build out and just create something. Because right now I don't know what I want to do, but I know that I have a skill set that can fund anything that I want to do. So now I'm trying to build upon that and then take advantage of that opportunity and just expand from there.
Got you. So let me ask you this. You fresh out of high school. You going to college?
I don't know about that. See, that was a tough conversation to have with my parents. I told them that college wasn't really in my favor because I was very good at school. I was always getting good grades, always an honor roll. But at the same time, I did that for just to make sure that my parents were like, do good in school because, I was just doing it for them. But I didn't really like any of that stuff. Like none of that stuff resonated with something that I was really passionate about. So when it came up to going to college, they were willing to pay like $3,000 for me to go a month for me to go to college. And I was like, I don't know if I want to put that on them if I don't even want to do it, like if I don't want to take advantage of it.
That's considerate, very considerate.
And I was like, so what am I going to do if I go to college? Because I'm very introspective. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do when I go to college? I'm like, I kind of want to do business management or something like that. But I'm like, what can they teach me in college about business if they don't have their own business to teach me? They don't have it. So I was like, okay, where could I go to learn what I want to learn to get into business and entrepreneurship and just learn this, this new field, this new industry? And I was like, hey, I got to come to Atlanta. I got to come down here, just the home of just the Black entrepreneurs. I had to be down here. And it's just better than college anyway, because down here I can still get that networking aspect, just the community aspect, but everybody's working towards the same thing, just like-minded people. And it's everywhere. Like everywhere I look, there's just entrepreneurs like everywhere. So
got you. How long you been in the A?
Since July. July 2021.
How's your experience been?
It's been good. Atlanta's a little different. Traffic's crazy.
Yeah. Who you telling? Man.
But it's pretty good down here. I really like it. I've been to 3 conferences so far.
What conferences did you go to?
I went to the Content Creation Bootcamp for David Shands. I went to the Invest Festival recently, and I went to another conference when I came down here. It was
Circle CEOs?
Yes. No, not the Circle CEOs. It was another one. I'm trying to put my finger on it because I pulled up, Jeremy Anderson's Next Level Speakers Conference.
Got you.
So I went to 3 conferences, and actually I met like most of my entrepreneur friends that I have now. I met them at the first conference that I went to, and then from there I was like, okay.
So hold on. When you say entrepreneur friends, they your age?
They're 13, 14, 15, 16, 22 is like the maximum age that I found.
Wow. And you found them at those conferences?
Yes, they are all motivational speakers. They either have their own clothing line, they have their own brand, or they have their own, like, just their own business in general. And just being around the room with them, it was just amazing. Like, we had to I was like, hey, we got to link up, we got to do something because this is crazy. Because one of them does credit, and he actually helped me a little bit with my credit. And the first credit card that I got was actually for 18,000, like my first one.
Hold on, bro. When did you turn 18?
January.
And you got a credit card for $18,000.
Yeah.
What you use it for? I'm being nosy.
Right
I ain't
now,
even your daddy.
Right now, I didn't really use it for anything.
Good.
I'm just trying to learn it because I'm learning about manufacturer spending, just learning
I
about
love it.
just different things in credit to use it for. I used it recently with Wall Street Trappers program. It was 3,500, and I got that like no questions asked, and I just got it just because.
So you just feel like it was an investment anyway.
Yeah. I'd rather spend 3,500 on the asset than a liability.
Got you. So question, did you get your 3,500 back out of it?
Well, about to. I already got half of it back this morning.
There it is. Ooh, it's talking spicy. Okay. All right, now, so you come to the A, you go to David Shan's content creation boot camp. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how I ended up here. I actually went to his course, met him. I met him through other individuals and other collaborative masterminds. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here now recording at his spot, just because we got a friendship and he mentored me through my process to become a podcaster. So what did you learn there?
So I learned actually what I needed for my course, like just in terms of creating content and structuring and organizing everything. Shout out to Justin Burns. He gave me the game on terms of like how to set up and organize like my course and how to set up everything for my content. And I literally took that layout and just ran with it, and I actually created my entire course in a day, like 6 hours, 7 hours, just recording straight. And I used that outline just to record my videos and just record my content.
We got that outline, Mike. That's the outline. We got the story where it go down
Yes, sir.
and the points, and then it go up and it ends in the systems and stuff like that. Yeah,
5x5 method.
Yeah. See, look, man, there it is. Got you. Now, the next boot camp you said you went to, was it Jeremy Anderson or
The InvestFest.
InvestFest? How'd that go for you?
That was actually really good, and it was actually last minute because it was Tuesday of about 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't even gonna go at first. I was like, I need to go, but I was like, I don't know if I could like pay for it. So because I was literally spending my money on like courses and stuff like that and just different things. So I was like, okay, so how am I gonna pay for this? Like just the ticket. And I was not gonna ask my dad. I was not gonna ask my parents. I was like, all right, I gotta figure this out on my own. So what I did was I said I'm gonna trade options and I'm gonna figure out like how to pay for it. So I traded up until Thursday. So I traded for 2 days, and I made enough for me to take it out, but also pay taxes on it too, to have enough just left over just to pay for the tickets.
Got you. Look at him being responsible, paying them, saving for taxes. Lord knows we don't do that as adults. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, then the speaking, the Jeremy Anderson speaking course or collab. What'd you get out of that one?
I got a lot out of that in terms of confidence and just speaking and telling my story and just making sure that I'm very vocal, because I'm very I like to be in the shadows a little bit, like to be off to the side.
Lay back. You like to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also know the power of just networking and telling my story and connecting with people, and I know what that can do. So I kind of just set my pride aside and just just get in these rooms and talk to people, because all of the people that I met at the conference there, it came from me going up to them and speaking and just communicating and stuff like that, telling people what I'm doing and stuff like that. So that alone just helped me get out of my bubble and also learn how to speak and stuff like that. So if I ever wanted to do that, I have that skill. I have that ability.
Got you. So what is your story?
So I used to be a troubled kid. Not trouble as in I would do bad things on my own. I was growing up in a really good household. My parents loved me. My parents appreciated me and cared for me and stuff like that. But I was always misbehaving and stuff like that. And that stemmed from when my sister passed away when she was 5 years old.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. That happened when I was about 10 or 11 years old. And after that, like when I started going like out of elementary school and going into middle school and high school, then things started being different. I started being more aggressive, started being more annoying and less friendly to people, and just very hard to be around. And I kind of did it on myself, like everything.
I feel like you was hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt, like, and just I was always upset with people, just in general. Like I saw like the worst in people, like for a long time, and even if people like had good intentions and stuff like that, I would always see the bad in it, and I would always like I would try to get into fights. I would always like not stand down to people. I was very like, you can't like get rid of me because life is already gonna get rid of me anyway. So I'm gonna just stand here and just fight my ground. And just that's kind of the mentality that I had. And then eventually I had to get out of it. Once I hit 10th grade,
What happened?
10th grade, when I was about to go into my 10th grade year, I was going to my new school, which was Oxon Hill. And I told myself I'm not going to have the same year that I've had these past few years. And I figured out, okay, what do I need to change? So I looked myself in the mirror for about 3 hours, like 2, 3 hours straight, just looking at myself, talking to myself, saying, all right, you got to change. You got to do something different. You can't keep doing this because you don't want to end up, the same way that you've been doing these past years, getting into fights, not having friends, just making people distant from you. You can't do that. So I had to change that once I got into Oxon Hill. And then after my 10th grade year, I was doing better. I played 3 sports: wrestling, football, and lacrosse.
What was your favorite sport?
I gotta say wrestling, only because it taught me discipline, and it taught me to never quit, like not give up, because it really pushed you to give up. Like like the workouts.
You got your ass slammed a couple times, bro.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying? I went against a few number ones, number twos in the state, and yeah, they was not playing. But I was mainly throwing people too, so
you had to throw that sauce back in there.
Yeah. But wrestling taught me a lot about just character, because like when you're like in football and lacrosse and basketball and just soccer, you have other people. So it's like, okay, if something goes wrong, there's some other people that you can blame for certain things. And it's like, oh, well, I missed my tackle, but he missed this too, and stuff like that. Or I ran the route right, but my quarterback didn't hit me, or something like that. You can make that excuse. But when you're wrestling and you're on the mat and that whistle blow, I mean, it's just you and the opponent. So you got to figure out, okay, how am I going to beat this opponent? And if you lose, you lost. And if you win, you win. So it's like you got to take pride in yourself and make sure you're doing what you're supposed
to do.
Accountability. Because if you don't, then you're going to keep losing, and you're going to keep getting. See, the thing is, if you lose, it's cool, but it's like you're getting slam thrown and like stuff like that. You can't it's like you can't take accountability for that. I mean, you're just going to be sad and just upset with yourself. It's like, damn, I keep getting slammed. I don't want to get slammed anymore. I mean, you're going to change. You're going to figure it out. But it really taught me discipline and accountability, and that definitely translated to my like entrepreneurship now, and I'm really grateful for it.
As I hear you talk, I also hear like self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Got you. And I have another question. There was a why though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're saying you're talking to yourself. Like, what was that? Like, what happened that made you be like, that's the end?
Because I was going through, because when you, and I also recommend this to everybody, like just people in general, when you feel a certain way, like when you feel a certain way, feeling is just fake. Like emotions are just, they're made up in our bodies to make us feel and process a certain way. So if you're in your head and you're thinking like third person, like, okay, I'm looking at myself and I'm acting this way because of this, you kind of start looking at yourself and like, why am I acting like this? I don't want to feel like this, so I'm just not. So you kind of just got to work your way up to it. But I had to take a step back and start, because I was dodging everything. Like stuff started happening to me, and I was like, oh, it's this fault, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault, it's not mine. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and they just keep coming at me and stuff like that. But after a while, it kept happening. So I'm like, okay, well, it keeps happening for years and years and years. It must be somebody else. I mean, it must be me. So I got to figure it out. So I had to look into myself and figure out what am I dealing with that I could change. And then when I changed it, changed everything.
Gotcha. When you say you changed everything, what is everything?
It changed the trajectory of where I would be, because I could either be in jail, dead, etc., just because of like different things that I was getting caught up into. And I told myself that I'm not going to, because I'm going to set myself up for better. And even though I'm going to this new school, even though I have a new start, I still have to have a new start in myself. If you don't, I'm just the same person in a new school.
Got you. I love it. So let's talk about briefly about the rest of your wrestling career. Did you win some more or did you lose some more?
Actually, I had a pretty good record. I think I won. I won the majority of my wrestling matches. Actually, my first year, um, of wrestling, I went to there's counties, regionals, and then the state. I went to regionals my first year.
Okay.
I didn't win in regionals, but I made it. I made it past counties and made it to regionals.
Gotcha.
The next year, I made it to regionals, I believe. And then the next year after that, we had COVID, so I couldn't wrestle. And I was like, dang, yeah.
Man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, got you. You know, man. Just to let you know a little bit about myself. So, a different path, but you know, that outlet that you had as wrestling, for me, it was track. So, like, right, I ran the right route. You didn't throw the ball. Couldn't blame anybody. I couldn't deflect my performance on anybody. So, you know, I had to work hard and I had to put in the work to build the strength and the stamina and the reps to get the right form to perform. So, that's unique that we both had that in common in the sense of different sport, but we had the same mind frame. Because I used to hoop, play baseball, and all kind of stuff too, man. So that's dope. Now, you graduated. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I learned about you because you're trading. You know what I'm saying? You're making money through trading. Let's talk about that. What interests you in trading stocks?
So trading stocks is a tool. It's not really like this is like something I'm passionate about. This is not something that I'm like, this is, I love doing it. It's more of like this is a tool for me to leverage my money and increase it and grow it through learning the process, learning strategies, and learning how to actually do it and go about it. And once I realized that, then I just learned that, it's basically just a game. The more I play it, the more I practice it, the more I learn about it, the more I can get better. So I just think of it like that, and it's helped me so far. I started that when I was in December. Actually, I actually asked my parents for a course, and I didn't ask for a game, no nothing. I was like, "Hey, I just want a course." They was like, "What?" They was a little confused, but I was like, because everybody else asked for games, toys, and stuff like that, and I was asking for a course, and they gave it to me. It was a Wall Street Trapper's stock options, not stock options, his investing course. And it wasn't even about options, but it was literally about how to invest and how to research companies and break it down. And I went through that, and that taught me enough to literally make my first options trade. Because what I did was I applied the same principles of researching companies, understanding the value, and understanding its projected value over a certain amount of time. And then I used that to make my first trade. And I actually did that. So Christmas Day, I got the course and I was just going through it on Christmas Day. It was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going through something, watching some video." And then from December 25th to the 26th, I was just going through the course. Then the 27th, I was researching the stock that I wanted to trade, that I wanted to, look up and research. And then I think it was the 29th. The 28th, I researched how to actually trade options. I didn't even know how to do it yet. Mm-hmm. And then the 29th, I made my first options trade on Neo. It was, I used $580, and then I took that, and then it was 2 weeks later, and my birthday was January 10th, so Capricorn. And so birthday January 10th, and I had my birthday, that was that Sunday. Then the market opened Monday. I didn't even care about my birthday. I didn't care. I was like, I need it.
You need that sauce back.
Yeah. So it came, and Neo ran up to 66 because of my predictions of like the value of the company, how it would go up. So I was like, okay, I'm going to cash out on it. And I sold it for $2,041. I still remember the amount right now. It was in 2 weeks.
All right. So I'm not a stock guy. What's the difference between like trading and then options? Like, I know that you could buy stock and then, you can sell it as it grows. I could buy one stock that's worth $1. It grows to 10, I could sell it, go from there. Yeah. So what's options trading?
So options trading, so what you're saying with buying and selling stocks, that's the same thing as trading. Basically, if you buy it at 60 and sell it at 61, you made $1, you traded it. Right. That's basically what it is. Buying and selling options is the same thing. You're just leveraging more. So think of it like a piece of paper, right? And I have 100 shares of, let's say, Apple on that piece of paper. So normally if I had to buy Apple, it's like $150, right? So 150, and I had to buy 100 shares of it, that's like $15,000 that I got to pay for 100 shares, right? Just to even like trade it. And then like if it goes up, then I make money, but I have to pay $15,000 just to trade that. Like that's kind of a little dumb, a little bit. Not dumb, but it's like there's better. So options, it allows you to use way less money to trade far more, like have more power. So I can trade 100 shares, $15,000 worth of Apple with maybe like $100, $200, like for one contract. So one contract holds $15,000 worth, but I'm only spending $200 for that contract, and it's an expiration period on it. So think of it like a time limit. Like I have a certain time limit to do what I need to do with this option. So if it goes up or down and I sell it, that's how I make my money basically.
So you're predicting that it's going to hit a number, and that's when you get paid, when it hits.
Not when it hits, but like, okay, so for example, like if I think it's going to go to, like for me, my first trade, it was, I put it at a strike price. So a strike price is basically a number that I think is going to hit or go past. And then I make money based on if it hits it or go past that number after a certain amount of time. So what I got was an in the money options contract. So in the money basically means that the stock price was $47 at the time, and I got an in the money contract at $44 a share. So the strike price is how many shares, how much I purchase each share for. So $44 each share. So basically, if it goes up to, so it's at 47 right now. If I were to wait kind of close to the expiration date and sold it, I would still make a little bit of money, but not like too much money because it's still outside of what I paid for it. But still, it didn't go up. It didn't really do anything at the time because I have value in it, like $3 worth of value. So when it went up to 66, I made, that amount, like $20 spread. So $20 times like 10 or 100, 2,000.
What determines the 10 or 100?
So no, that's 100 shares. That's what I meant by 100. So
Got you.
shares.
Got you.
Each contract, each time the stock goes up $1, the theoretical amount that you make is $100. So it went up $20, so I made $2,000. So I paid $580 for it, and then it went up about $22, $20 in a span of like 2 weeks. And I had the contract out for about a month, but I sold it 2 weeks before.
Got you. Now I got a question to you. How do you determine how long you want the contract to go out?
So when you buy the actual contract, it'll tell you. So for example, you have, so each contract, they're cheaper the closer they are to each other. So if you have a contract that expires in like a day, then you might pay like $70, $80 for it, something like that, like just ballpark. And then if you have it out for like 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, then it might be like 600, 700, 800, something like that. Because the longer, over time, the time in the market, that's how you make money. That's just wealth is built anyway, because the stock market goes up over time. So the farther out you have, the more time you have for it to grow, the more money you make theoretically. So they make you pay more for each contract at that point. So it has more time to grow, but you still got to put more skin in the game. Right. You paying for each contract. So when I traded Neo, I had to pay for about a month's worth of each contract. So I had about 30 days of my contract and I paid $580 for it. So the farther out you have your expiration, more you got to pay, but you have less risk because it has time to
hit that number.
Exactly.
Or to hit that. Got you. So how do you do this without gambling? Because it sounds like you're gambling a little bit.
So I had to learn that too. So
okay.
There's two ways to go about it, and I recommend using both. Fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So when I first started trading options, with the first trade I didn't know anything about charts, technicals or the lines and all that crazy stuff. I didn't know about it.
Man, that stuff look like Chinese,
right? They do, yeah.
Okay.
It look crazy.
At least I'm not like the only person. But go ahead, you were saying.
So fundamental analysis is understanding the actual company that you're trading. So understanding the profit and loss, the earnings reports, like what is their expected profits during this month, during this quarter, what is their annual, quarterly reports looking like. Just looking at the actual company, like how is the company doing, basically. And if you see that and understand and break that down, you'll be able to understand, okay, right now it's kind of has like good like financial statements and stuff like that, but it's at this price. So it could either go down or up based on this information that I have. So that's literally how investors like typically try to look at like, stocks and stuff like that. And that's how people either short squeeze, like for example, GameStop. GameStop was going out of business. The financials for the company were bad. So what hedge funds were doing, they were short selling it, which was basically saying it's going to go down, and they make money for it going down. And everybody was doing it. They have like millions of them.
So let me repeat what you're saying to me. So GameStop was going up. So you're saying
GameStop was going down. Like,
gotcha, it was because it was up, right? It was. I remember it went crazy. It went from like $14 to $70 in like a day.
It was going down. It was over time, like the past few years, it was going down because over time Amazon started coming in and people started stopped buying games.
So like what you're saying, they're betting on it falling
because the company,
and that's a short
down.
Squeeze.
Yes, gotcha. The short squeeze happened when they shorted too many times. So basically, what a short is basically you're putting a whole bunch of puts. So when you're doing call options, right? You don't own those shares, but you theoretically own them. So if you buy millions of contracts, something like that, you don't really own those, but it's basically saying that you do for a certain amount of time. So what happened was there was, along with like retail investors like Wall Street Bets and also other investors as well, like bigger investors, we call them whales because they, they're bigger in the market. They able to push the GameStop price up, and what those hedge funds did was
bet on a short.
Yeah, they betted on it going down still, and they held it. Like they was like, oh, I'm not getting out of this. I'm thick skinned, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm holding this, and then it went up some more, and up some more, and up some more, and up some more. So what they did to cover their losses was to do calls. So if they were shorting it, right? So the way you hedge or like try to cut losses on what you're like losing, because they were losing billions of dollars, they did call options on it saying it's going to go up. So that's theoretically saying it's going to go up, and then everybody started buying into it, and then boom, it exploded upwards because so many people were,
that's what I saw.
Yeah, so many people were shorting it, and no one really understood like the financial, because the reason I didn't even trade it because I knew the financials of the company were not like where they needed to be. So I was like, I'm not going to get into this because that's a gamble. Like getting to because the hedge funds lost like billions of dollars, and some retail investors are like people like me,
right,
and they lost like billions of dollars in the market from GameStop, like just from that one stock, because it doesn't make any sense. It went up to that price, but it didn't need to. So I didn't trade it because that just wasn't safe for me, and it just didn't make any sense to me. The financials weren't there. The company was just not good, so I just didn't trade it. Everybody's asking, "Oh, do you trade it?" Because they knew I trade. I was like, "No," and it was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Why would you?" Because the company is just not good. Like GameStop was falling for these past years, and it's gonna keep because what they did was when it ran up. They took the GameStop took because they own the shares of the company. So the shares, they took profit on some of that to try to, keep it alive. But at the same time, the financials are still not there for the company. AMC also, but we don't got,
Yeah. I saw AMC do that too. Got you. What are Wall Street Bets? I heard you say that.
Wall Street Bets is a group. It's about a few million people, just retail investors like me, and it's like a large body of people just that are trading at the same thing basically. So they try to get into a stock and they try to create some type of movement or just try to capitalize on a trade basically.
Gotcha. It's kind of like saying, a group of people saying that Bitcoin's about to go crazy to create that people to buy Bitcoin. So what they do, they're already in the stock. Then when they create the frenzy, people are buying and they're getting out to make their profits.
Yeah, because social media is being heavily utilized in the markets nowadays, because when Elon Musk actually, when he was posting about Dogecoin, he was manipulating the market because every time he posted,
he can't get in trouble for that.
Actually, the SEC, which the Security Exchange, basically like think of it like the police of the stock market. They was like, nah, you can't be posting about it because you're manipulating the market and you're causing it to like the price to change in its favor, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't really do that. Like there was a lot of people that were doing that, and that's what it caused it. Because Dogecoin doesn't have any value either. I got it only with the profits that I made from the 2000 trade. I only put $10 in Dogecoin.
What was the price at?
It was priced at like 0.0008.
Oh.
And I was mad because I sold it. I turned it to the. I put in like $8, something like that, and it went up to like 200, 250 or something like that. I was up a huge percentage, and I sold it right there because I was like, I mean, it's up like, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot.
So I'll tell you my Dogecoin story. I had a little dude, an intern named Ziggy, that was all into it, and he was like, "Man, get you some Doge." I'm like, "What is Doge?"
What is that?
And so he was just like, everything Elon Musk is popping. I was just like, okay. Tesla was up. The market was just like crazy. So I bought it at 5 cents because I was like, it don't hurt nobody. You know, man, I'll give it $100 at 5 cents. Man, that thing sat idle for a month. I was like, man, let me get my money out of here. I really didn't need it. Well, I wasn't tripping. So before I got my money out, it went down to 2 cents. So I was like, up. I'm cool. I lost like 60% of the money. I lost $60. I mean, I wasn't tripping, but I was just like, this ain't doing nothing for me. 2 weeks later, it went to 14 cents.
Yeah. And then it ran up like,
Then it went up to like 71 cents.
That's what I'm saying. Another thing, just don't trade what you're not willing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't tripping.
Yeah. But it's like, if you
I could have made that, I could have flipped that and did like a 10x.
Exactly.
Plus, my little $100 would have been like 1,000.
I actually did the numbers on my $10 that I put in it because I put it at 0.008.
When is this? When is this?
This was like actually when in December, like when I was starting to get into it. When I made my first trade, after that, I literally got into Dogecoin. I just put like $10 in it just because, and it went up to 200 after but it went up to like 1 cent or something like that. But it ran all the way up to like 60 cents. So if I did the numbers on it. If I held it, I think I would have made like 10,000 on it off of $10 because it was at zero. It was at decimal points 8.
How'd you feel? Yeah, you can talk about it here, man. It's a safe space.
I was a little
place.
I was a little upset about it, but at the same time, I was like, I had to really think about it because being a third, like that's the mindset of a trader. You're not supposed to be like, emotional about it. Like, oh, I missed out. No, I messed up on trade because like that happens all the time. Like, but at the same time, it's like there's always another play. Like there's always going to be another play in the market, and you can't really trip over dollars for pennies, and you just get upset about that because at the same time it ran up, but you can't really like predict that. You're just getting in it because it's hyped up and just everybody's just getting in it. And I already made $200 off $10, so who can say that?
Got you. So you got your course. You know what I'm saying? Like you out here. You still in school, right?
No. I'm graduated already.
Got you. When you got the course in December?
Oh no, not the course. Oh, the Wall Street Chapter course? Yeah. I went through that immediately. Like I already had it. I still have it too.
But you was in school in January though, right?
Yeah, I was still in school.
Got you. So how much time are you allocating to trading while during school?
To be honest, I'm so glad we was in online school because I was at home. It was so funny because when I made
no work, my guy.
When I went, I actually made my classes started at 9:30, right? And the market opens at 9:30. So I got Zoom on my iPad, and I just got my charts on my laptop. I mean, not my laptop, my computer. So when I made my trade and I made 2,000, I was like, oh, I'm done with this. I logged off the Zoom. I went downstairs to my mom. I was like, Mom, I did this. She was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, what? I just made 10,000, and she was just cool. She was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, yeah. But if it was like...
She was like, take your ass back to class.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what is class? It's like one class. So everybody else in my class, they was like, wait, why'd you leave? And then I was like, not going to... At first, I wasn't going to
go celebrate, bro.
Yeah, I was going to celebrate. Wine? Yeah.
It's okay, bro.
Apple cider vinegar.
There it is.
Like sparkling cider.
All right, so you get the $2,000 win. What's next? Like, what you know what I mean? Like, what's your progression as an investor?
After that, I started making smaller trades. So what I was trying to get is consistency. So once I realized that once you actually get your trading pattern together, like once you like start consistently making that type of profit, all you got to do is just add money to it. So what I was doing was I wasn't willing to, because I took like $1,000 loss, like when I was in my trade, like it was on SOS, because they were getting news that they were getting new mining rigs and stuff like that in China, and they had more than Riot and stuff like that. But there's a difference mining companies too, and it started going down, and I lost like about $1,000 from that, and I was like, okay, that kind of hurt. Even though I made 2,000, I still lost like 1,000 or something like that. In profit, and I took away from like the profits that I was making. So I was like, all right, let me take a step back and learn this stuff first before I'm just getting into trades and stuff like that, and just learn.
I almost had you going back to Walmart, bro, to get a job, like losing a G like that.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So how much, if you don't mind me asking, how much money were you working with overall?
To trade, I started with 580. That was it.
And then in 2000. So
I didn't really add anything to it. Like,
gosh,
I didn't really.
So you playing with the church's money?
Pretty much.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's good. You ain't got too much skin in the game. So, all right, today you are teaching people how to invest.
Yes.
All right. Tell us about that.
So actually, that started with. Because at first I was just going to do it for me and just, learn it for myself and develop it. I didn't think I was, like, qualified enough to, like, teach anybody yet.
Why don't you think you were qualified enough?
Mainly because of my age. Like, I was like, okay, what are they going to learn from me at, 18? I just turned 18.
They can learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, that too. That's what I learned about it. I was like, okay, they can learn from my mistakes. They can learn this new skill that I know, and they can just learn from it. And that, because I don't have to be at level 5 to teach them how to get to level 4 or level 5. I'm at level 2, level 3, I can teach them how to get there, and they're at level 0. So at the same time, they still want to learn something. So I started getting into it when because I told my friends about it, like, hey, I was doing this and stuff like that, and I had to start taking like breaks from them, like, because I used to play the game and stuff like that with them, and that was after I made like that amount of money. I was like, all right, I gotta do some more research. So I got to see later. Yeah, I actually sold my Xbox like about a month or 2 ago.
Gotcha. You got that money in the market too?
Yes. Yeah. You already know.
You
already know it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, after that, they started coming back to me, like just hitting me up and stuff like that. We were chopping it up. But I was overall just keep it to myself, focusing on business, focusing on learning these different things. And their parents started hitting me up, like learning, like, hey, how do you set up my son's account, like custodial account and stuff like that, how to set it up. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just walking through it, like how to set up their TD Ameritrade, how to set up their account.
You're inspiring right now.
And it was so weird because I was like, I got off the phone and I'm like, I hung up and I'm like, I just had a 40-year-old adult hit me up, 18 years old, about investing, like where to put their money. And I was like, that was just different because they was asking me about like different stocks and stuff like that to get into. And I told them like, what is their goals? And it was like growth, like steady growth and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, I gave you a list of stocks that you could look at, some ETFs, mainly just consistent growth. And after that, I was just hitting up different people that were like, no, people were hitting up me just like asking me for advice. And I was like, why are you asking me for advice? It was so weird because I was like, because in my mind at the time, I didn't think I was qualified enough to give that information. Then when I started seeing like, okay, what am I doing for people? I was like, all right, I got to step this up a little bit and learn some more and then teach it some more. Because learning is the teaching is the best way to learn. So
it is.
I was like, I want to get better at this, so I got to teach other people how to do it. So I was teaching people. My friends were asking me how to do it. I had this one queen, she was asking me how to just go into investing and stuff like that. She's around my age, and I just gave her the game on that and broke it down. And yeah, it was just really.
I missed your testimonials for your course. You need to call them back.
I got them. Oh yeah, I got it actually on my course, the website. I only put like 12 because they didn't let me fit anymore. So I put like 12 like list of testimonials. I helped one of my friends actually. He's in college right now. He's 20 and he didn't know anything about investing and stuff like that. I helped him set up his account and stuff like that and just learn how to trade and like help telling him what trades I'm getting into, what is the fundamentals behind it, how to do it, etc. And he made like a total of, just from me holding his hand, just talking to him and breaking down like how to do it, he made like $6,000. Yeah, and that was over like a few weeks period because that was about like 4 or 5 weeks.
Bro, is you sending the signals of when they get in and get out?
Oh, not signal. Well,
because I need to be on that line. You feel me? I need to be on that hotline.
It was funny. So the first time, he did 2 separate trades. It was he made 2,100 or 200 from his first trade, and then he made 4,000 the next trade, like the next trade that he did, and that was like the last one. I was I was mad at him because I hit him up because I'm looking at it too because I was investing in it too. I was like, bro, because he wasn't up. I was texting him, he wasn't answering. I was like, yo, you better. I called him. He was asleep still, like, cause he's still in college and stuff like that. I was like, he sleeps still. I'm like, yo, you better wake up and look at the market. He was like, what you talking about? I was like, just check your portfolio. And then he saw that the stock we was looking at, it was ran up crazy. He was like, oh, let me get it. He was getting out of it, and he got out at like 4,000. That was funny because he was at like 4,500, 4,600 just based on my math. And then he got out like 4,000. I was like, you lucky because you would have, because after, if he didn't wake up,
he lost all his bread. Got you.
So I had to teach him about that.
Do you do crypto too?
I'm getting into that a little bit, but only reason I just don't understand it. I don't want to get into something if I don't understand like the fundamentals behind it. That's because I tried Forex too, like foreign exchange currencies, and I didn't understand how to because I didn't have anybody to help me understand the fundamentals of it. Like why do currencies go up and down in value, stuff like that. Like I didn't understand that. But I understood companies. I understood what's a bad company, good company, and stuff like that. So that's what resonated with me.
Got you. Like I heard you say it, man. I hear all kind of people talking about this, and I just be like, it make me feel old. What in the world are ETFs? Okay,
ETF is just basically exchange traded funds. So think of it like a basket of stocks.
Exchange traded funds.
Yes.
Okay.
So think of it like a basket of stocks. So I'm gonna give you an example like the S&P 500. You could SPY. It has the top 500 companies, the largest companies, and you could see in the U.S. So you could see okay, what's the top 500 companies, and just see what they are. I forgot what the list, the whole entire list, but I know Apple is in there, Google's in there, Tesla, etc. There's the biggest companies are in that basket of that ETF. That's why it's continuously kept growing over time, and it's actually reaching new highs now. QQQ is another ETF as well. That has the NASDAQ 100, top 100 companies.
Which one holds the tech?
The tech, QQQ.
Got you.
So it has Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Google, I think Facebook. There's a few more, but
that's the way to go, though, right?
Holding. Yeah,
those are the way the world's going.
Yeah, those are stable, really stable stocks usually because tech isn't really going anywhere.
So when you say stable, are you referring to stable growth?
Stable because over time, because of these certain ETFs, I'm gonna give another ticker, UVXY. And it actually is the opposite of SPY. So over time, SPY goes up. Over time, UVXY goes down in value. So basically, it's basically the opposite of SPY. So I actually traded both of those at the same time. So if SPY is going up, usually UVXY or the VIX is going down. So I like to trade that too. But different ETFs have different values inside of them depending on the stocks that they hold.
Got you. So, I heard you say ticker. Ticker is the name of the stock, right?
So if I say Apple, AAPL, that's the ticker. When you look it up on your trading platform and stuff like that, AAPL, that's Apple. Google, GOOG, or GOOGL, that's Google. And then you got Tesla, TSLA, Amazon, AMZN.
Now, for somebody starting like myself, I want something stable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is for it to grow steadily. I don't care for a lot of volatility in something I don't know, right? It's high, volatility to me looks like higher risk. So what would you tell me the top 5 stocks for me to invest in, or somebody listening to invest in, to just grow, at a stable, modest pace?
Stable stocks would have to be the blue chip companies that are over time they've been able to grow consistently and just shown that they've been doing well. For example, Apple, Facebook is a good one. Amazon is it's had a little bit of time to grow, but at the same time, it still hasn't had time to get to that point. Right. Berkshire Hathaway, because Tesla, I would say Tesla, but they have potential, but they haven't been around that long either. That's very volatile. Yeah, they were zooming up, but that's not growth. That's just volatility. So Tesla's very volatile. So in terms of growth, I don't recommend Tesla for that. But in terms of trading, I love trading Tesla. It's beautiful
Why is it beautiful for trading? Talk to me.
So because of how it moves, the point spread on it. So it was very volatile a few months ago. Super it would move $10 or $20 in a day.
Right.
Just up or down, and you can trade that basically. So since you have a certain time limit, like on your trades, you can get like same day expiration contracts and scalp. So if it moves down like super quickly, like if it moved down $1, $2, $3, each dollar it moves down, you can theoretically make $100 per contract that you have. So if you have multiple contracts, like if I got 10 contracts, then if it moves $1, I make 1,000. So per dollar move, and if it moves $10 or $20, something like that, I make 10, 20,000.
Got you. Now, you're a young entrepreneur, and I will assume that stock trading was your first introduction to entrepreneurship, right?
No.
No. Talk to me about that.
So my first introduction actually was in high school. I used to sell snacks in school.
Got you. You was a candy man.
Yeah.
The candy man. Got you. What kind of candy you used to sell, bro?
I used to sell like Skittles, Starburst. I had honey buns, Pop-Tarts, sodas.
Where you storing honey buns at, bro?
Shoot, Costco, Sam's Club.
I'm talking. Where you storing them?
Storing them? Oh, I had like a duffel. I was ghetto. I had a blue duffel bag.
At least you know.
Yeah. I had a blue duffel bag, and I just put all my stuff in there, and then I would just carry it around school.
They never say nothing to you?
Not really.
Like
in middle school,
you was trying to fight.
In middle school,
they said something to you, huh?
In middle school, they was mainly saying stuff, but in high school, it wasn't really that big of a deal.
You ain't never leave it in the locker?
Oh, heck no.
Smart man. Yeah, they busted your mess up.
No, I had black people in my school, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people you can't really, but yeah.
Got you. Anything else that you did?
Starting from that, and that came from because like my parents wouldn't really get me like snacks that I wanted, so I started.
Hey Jose, man, I hope you're looking at this, bro. You had this man out there like with no snacks, bro. He had sugar cravings, and that's why he was angry, bro. It's all good though.
But yeah, I use like anytime I get into like something, especially like with entrepreneurship, it's like it has a reason tied to it. Like if I can't have something, then like I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it, but how am I gonna get it where I can continuously keep getting it over and over again? So they was like, don't get high of your own supply. But I know what I'm saying, like I got a little honey bun or like a little pack of Skittles here and there. Like
you dipped your hand in a cookie jar, dude, killed the profits.
I still made profit. No, I made like hundreds from that stuff. Like they was always buying stuff from me.
Got you. Now, have you ever thought about real estate being an avenue for you?
Definitely. Actually, that's what. So funny you mentioned that. The first house that I want to get is going to be like an investment property, like a duplex, triplex, quadplex. And you already know about house hacking. You already know about real estate. Do the 3.5% down. Or I might do, depending on how much money I have, I might do the 20% down conventional loan and then take that out.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Like it depends on the monthly mortgage and depends on like if I get renters or not like that. Because like I'm 18, they're gonna be like, I'm not paying this guy. I'm not paying this cat. Like I had one of my
You gotta get rid of your fear of age. I think that your age is actually will propel you. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 40. You're 20 or you're 18.
18.
If we walk into a room and we ask the same person, at different times, I walk in before you. Hey, are you willing to? Can you help me with this?
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
And if you ask the same question, can you help me with this? Who they're gonna give? Who are they gonna help? Who do you think they'll help?
Help me because potential.
Leverage it. You know what I mean? It's sad, but I feel like somebody look at me like you had enough time to figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
as in contrary to you, they feel like they're gonna do a good deed by empowering you. Now, when it comes to real estate and everything that you aspire to do, just protect yourself with contracts, and you're going to get paid. Make sure that you buy properly. Make sure that you study the same way you studied the stock market. You studied that before.
Yeah, teach me about that too.
And you started to look. You started to talk about it. And so, if I may, like, imagine having $20,000, and you say, Eric, I'm ready to get my first rental property, and the traditional way of buying real estate is you put a down payment, and the bank gives you the other. Like you just said, I could put 20% down. The bank's going to fund me 80%. My credit is going to determine my interest rate and my payments, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we did that and we got your property because you worked hard, you traded, and then you saved it. Now you got your first property. Let's say you have a mortgage of, let's say the property is $100,000. You have a mortgage now of $550. Then you got property management fee of 10%, which is $100. Now you're at $650. You have insurance, which may be $50. Now you're at $700, right? and now you're cash flowing $300 monthly. The benefits to that are great. You do get tax benefits. You do get cash flow, right?
Yeah.
Depending on where you buy will determine the amount of appreciation in the home. Maybe the home goes from 110 to 120, give or take, with some time, right? That's dope. But you put 20,000 into the home, and now it's locked in there.
Yeah.
You have to wait till the market appreciates to be able to refinance to get it back. But how I teach people how to get free rental properties is that we're going to show you how to find the properties that fit a model to where you could get your 20,000 back.
Mm.
So what I mean by that is we find the property, we run our numbers on it, therefore we buy it to where the repairs and the property are under 65 to 70% to ARV. That's the after repair value, the 100,000. And so what we do is when we teach you how to analyze the repairs and understand how to calculate everything, and I show you how to scout for that type of property, imagine now you having a property and you're only in it 70% to ARV, 75% to ARV. When you refinance, you already have 20% of equity, which is the $20,000.
Yeah.
So it is going to take you some money, that $20,000, to kind of like pay for some labor, some closing costs. But when you refinance, you get it back. So imagine that you got a property, you got your money back, you have $20,000 in the property, and you have your $20,000 back in your pocket. Mm-hmm. You can rinse and repeat that. Imagine doing that five times in a year. Now you have $100,000 in equity, you have your $20,000 in your pocket. Now you got cash flow, 3 or 5 properties at $300, you're making $1,500 in cash flow.
Consistently.
Now that is not the get rich scheme. Cash flow is not the get rich scheme, but you're trying to start a business. You need marketing dollars. You want to get a loan. Now you got your $20,000 in your pocket, but you could go to a bank and get a business loan because you have $100,000 in equity that they can leverage and loan against.
So I can use my properties as
leverage,
collateral
to leverage, to get money to propel your business that you want to teach with. Nice. And that's how you can leverage real estate, with the strategies that I teach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put your homeboys on that.
Definitely.
Your age doesn't matter as long as they're getting credit together like you are.
Yeah.
And they learn the strategies. They could apply that, and you don't have to be a 40-year-old male with experiences. You can leverage my experience to benefit from. You can join my mentorship calls, get some guidance, and then as you're going through your project, you can tap in through the process and really make sure that you have now that hand that's holding you through the process to execute.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of times we don't know how to find mentors. So, that's how we tag team with others and empower people to really get free rental properties and build generational wealth. Therefore, they can retire when they desire, man.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what I mean?
Fire.
Yeah, there it is, man. But I want to thank you, man, for coming through and blessing us with some knowledge on that and some examples, because for me, that's a foreign subject. You know what I mean? So when people tap into you, how, what's the onboarding like? What are you taking them through? What are the steps, to your program? What results are you getting for your clients?
So my target avatar for my course was actually a 13-year-old. I want to target the younger. I want to target break it down for them, break it down like a 5th grader. Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do it from here to here, and teach you how to make $100 to $1,000 a day. If I could teach him, I could teach anybody. Because if I could break it down to you, I can show you how to make your account, how to set up everything, what my strategy is, how to do that strategy, watching me do my strategy live. I actually have a live video, and I show you because I actually trade, and I pick a random stock, random day, and I trade, and I show you, and you can hear me too. You can hear what I'm thinking, hear what I'm saying, and you can see what I'm doing on my computer. You can see how I do the trade, and you can see everything that I do.
Got you. So the ironic thing is you launched it today, right?
Yes, sir.
Got you. That man said I made my money back today. So where can somebody listening find this course and get involved with you, man?
Definitely. You can go to www.optionstradingblueprint.com, and what you can do is you can get it actually half off of what I'm going to launch it for, and you can pre-order. If you pre-order it now, you'll get it half off than what the actual price is.
Got you. What we going to do too is we're going to put a link under this video. For anybody watching, can tap into the link. You know what I'm saying? They can hit you. What's your Instagram? Where can they find you and connect with you if they have any questions?
You can find me at CEO Ashon, CEOASHON on Instagram and Twitter. But I may be on Instagram. You already know.
And I was jacking at it on the intro. Ashon, baby, get it together. Hey, for you that tap into me daily, man, I appreciate you, man. Don't forget about the mentorshipcalls.com. Basically, we tap in every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and talk about wholesaling, real estate, flips, like everything, man, lending, you name it, we're going to talk about it. If you need some assistance, if you need a mentor, that's where you come and get that. If you're looking to partner in JV with some other people, like this is where you could do that, man. I'm just trying to create a way for us to be empowered and be able to build generational wealth. That being stated, make sure to like, share, and comment, man, on the video. Tell a friend to tap in to First Generation Wealth Builders, man. And I'll see you on the other side.